Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Steve,
I'm Travis.
and welcome to the 4-year anniversary show. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The last podcast you'd want has been running for 4 years. What? Get out of here. That's right. We started way back when with just me and a microphone. And boy, have we been on a journey since then. We've had such names as my dad, who has died, my brother, who has died, Robert Forrester, also dead. Everyone else is still alive, though. We've had Wee Man, we've had Rick Cossack, we've had Rick Overton, we've had Lance Bangs, we've had Rivka Reyes. Oh, actually, there is one other person that passed away, but Kevin from School of Rock, I realized that one as well. But that's okay. He was a great guy. Everyone's great. I can't believe it. 4 years running. Travis, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Steve. It's good to be here. Can't believe I'm gonna take part in a 4-year anniversary. That's
Oh,
crazy.
I guess you were also a guest at some point. You
That's
were the
true.
you technically were the original guest.
The OG.
But
Yeah.
before my dad on the pre-recorded episode, the lost episode as I called it.
Lost episode. Lost for a reason, actually, but yes.
I guess we talked about Power Rangers. You know what I watched the other day? Power Rangers.
That
I
same movie?
that same movie, say Saban's Power Rangers with Zach, what's his name's little brother, the Billy from Stranger Things.
Yes. He looks like Zac Efron's little brother, is what
he
you're
does
saying?
look, yeah, Zach Efron.
Yeah, he
That's
kind
the
of does.
last name I couldn't think of. With Bryan Cranston and Elizabeth Banks. And some other people. A movie that I honestly think would have had a great sequel, but I guess it didn't do too well in the box office, so no sequel ever happened.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I thought that was a pretty good rendition of the Power Rangers franchise. That didn't disappoint in any aspect. Watched it once while double dose of acid. Don't recommend that nearly as much, but
Interesting. I've only done acid once, and we won't get into that because there were a ton of people, and only 3 other people knew. Hundreds of people, and 3 people knew I was on acid.
speaking of things I wouldn't recommend, that's next on the list.
What, doing acid when no one else knows?
Yeah, just around a whole bunch of people who
It
aren't
was it
tripping.
was a very interesting decision, to say the least. It was a
You're an
very
interesting human being,
it
Steven,
was
and
a
I love you
very
for it.
it was a very interesting day. Um, but oh boy, yeah, I rewatched Power Rangers, and just like the first time around, it was a fun flick. I really enjoyed it. I've watched other movies as well. I watched Moonfall, which I did not want to see in the theaters because that trailer made it look like dog shit, and it was.
Oh, wait, did the trailer do that, or did the
No,
movie itself?
no. Well, I mean, both. I
You're only
watched.
polishing a turret at some point, right, or something like that.
Yeah, I watched that, and as a palate cleanser, I watched it instead of watching the 2 hour and 10 minute film Moonfall, which I did. A palate cleanser, I watched the 3 hour film of The Batman.
Fuck yes. Fuck
So
yes.
good. So
Gets
good the
better
second
every
time
time.
around, man. The only thing I still, once again, the only thing I have bad to say about the Batman is I don't need the Joker for another villain.
No.
We've
Not for another decade at least. Jesus.
Yeah, like get him out of here. We have a ton of other Batman villains that we can get in with. Hot off the presses, Travis, I want to get your thoughts on Henry Cavill coming out saying that he has officially been fired as Superman from the DCU.
I hadn't really heard or seen that. Doesn't surprise me.
Oh,
The
so this is
DC
breaking. I'm the one that's breaking to
extended
you that
universe.
Henry Cavill has been fired as Superman.
I stand for it. I've defended it staunchly against the Marvel population, and their super fucking broad daylight superhero movies that are obvious for everybody to love, and I've made my case so many times, and they just disappoint me because they've had him as one of the best Supermans that I've ever seen. I love Man of Steel, and they've totally underutilized him in the rest of the franchise. In Justice League, they didn't do him justice at all. And just to hear this, it doesn't surprise me. It sucks, but It felt like they weren't. It feels like he already wasn't a part of it.
I mean, so my
I
brother,
don't get it.
my brother disagrees with me on my statement, but I think it's very interesting that DC decided to take the director that, in my opinion, has made one of the worst DC films made and put him in charge of the entire company.
Right, because they put James Gunn at the helm now, right?
Yeah, and James Gunn is the one that fired Henry Cavill, and he is the one that had that. I mean, as far as I know, you could say that this is all James Gunn.
Sure.
Fired Henry Cavill,
It's Cavill.
nixed Wonder Woman 3, possibly soon with the firing of Gal Gadot.
Who's like one of the few extremely popular characters in that franchise.
Uh, I have no idea. As far as I know, Aquaman 2 might be Jason Momoa's last appearance as Aquaman and might be reappearing as Lobo. There is a lot that is happening in the DCU right now with James Gunn taking over. And I say, you didn't really address it. I will say it again. I think The Suicide Squad is one of the worst DC movies ever made. The only thing good to come out of that was the TV show Peacemaker with John
Yeah.
Cena.
Yeah. I didn't address it for a reason. The original Suicide Squad, which everybody hates
I
universally,
love, I
is
love,
better. It's better than that. It's
I
way
love
better.
the, yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love the Will Smith Suicide Squad 10 times more than James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
Yeah, at least it tells a story and it's fun to watch and fucking like you can be upset that they marketed it as being more Joker heavy and then he was kind of shitty and not even in it, but it
And
told
that, well,
some
you see, that's the other thing. People always get on Jared Leto and his Joker.
barely in the film.
I like his Joker. I like his Joker. His Joker isn't the best Joker,
No. He
but
took a stance.
it's also not the worst Joker. And even if it's the worst Joker, it's not a bad Joker.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as you run down the list of Jokers, it could be the worst, but when you think about what's ranked
I'll
above
take
it,
him. I'll take him over the Joker that they gave us on Gotham. The kid
oh,
from
the kid from Shameless.
the kid from
They
Shameless.
never really confirmed that that was
It's
right
100%
though.
the Joker. It's 100% the Joker because that's what he instills in the world. Is everyone is the Joker because he is the prime. He's the prime one for it.
Yeah,
Um,
okay,
but
that's fair.
it's super funny because everyone loved it so much, and I didn't care for it. I just didn't like the Suicide Squad. So I'm not interested in anything that James Gunn has to bring for for the DCU, let alone the fact that I love Guardians more than I love Guardians 2. I think Guardians 2 has the better soundtrack,
Agreed.
but Guardians 1 is a better movie,
Yes.
meaning that he didn't progress as a director. In my personal opinion, he did not progress as a director in the MCU, unlike the Russos. I think the Russos excelled as directors with what they gave us from the Captain America movies all the way up into Infinity War and Endgames. I know you're not a big fan of Infinity War and Endgames, but I love that story. It is such a good, for me, it's a good it's a story. It's a full connecting. You get Thanos, you get the disciples of Thanos with all of them.
Yeah.
You
I,
get, bro, the ending of Infinity Wars, and I'm not trying to split DC and MC and Marvel here, because I'm a fan of both universes. I'm a fan of
sure.
what they're bringing. But I don't know if DC can ever match the ending that Infinity Wars gave us. Being in that theater, hearing everyone gasp, hearing people start to cry as these iconic characters are disappearing in front of us. Peter Parker's death in Infinity Wars is more crucial than any death that they're going to be able to give us in the DCU. My personal opinion.
Yeah,
Because
they
it's
killed
such,
Superman in the comics and it was already huge. I don't think they're gonna that a death is necessarily gonna be.
they
I think
killed
those reasons.
they already killed Superman. They killed Superman in Batman versus Superman: Dawn
That's
of
true. They've done
Justice.
it again. Yeah.
And the
I
death of
just love to kill Superman because it seems
and
like you can't kill him.
They love to kill Superman as much as they love to destroy the USS Enterprise in the new Star Trek movies, um, which is every movie. I'm excited for what the DCU can possibly bring to the world, because I think that James Gunn might actually make the effort to bring in unknown people in the DCU, much like he did with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm a Marvel guy, but I didn't really know much about the Guardians of the Galaxy until James Gunn came out with the movie for the Marvel.
Right, yeah. I hadn't heard of any of them. I haven't heard most of the Marvel Universe until I feel like that's what the strength of the Marvel Universe is, the lack of knowledge coming into it, because Hulk,
the only people in the
X-Men
MCU that
like
I
the only ones I knew.
the
Spider-Man.
only people you're crazy. The only people in the MCU I did not know was the Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man. I've known every other character that they have brought into every major movie. Iron Man, Thor, Captain Marvel. I knew of Captain Marvel, like all of them.
My argument, I guess, is that non-comic book people like myself are much more familiar with Batman, Superman than they are with the rest of Marvel. Like,
Because
I've seen Spider-Man and the X-Men
longer.
TV shows and stuff, but
Because
they're just more iconoclast. Just those two characters, just
sure. You just have pure America in both of those characters. You take Superman and Batman, and that's both sides of America. That's the light, the dark, the good, the bad. Like this is America. Like that is why they are the shining symbols of hope and patriotism and fear and all of that when it comes to America. Superman and Batman.
Right, and so then I feel like
they're the two faces. They're the two faces of good guys. Like
the two different ways to go about things. Yeah.
And one of them isn't even American or human.
Yeah, I was like, he's not. He's more American than he is human.
He's Kryptonian. His
Kryptonian
biological
Kansas,
makeup.
My guy.
His Kryptonian biological makeup is enhanced by Earth's yellow sun. If Lois gets a tan, the kid could kick right through his stomach.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like DC can fucking.
The only way he could bang regular chicks is with a kryptonite condom, but that would kill him.
Slowly.
Do you even know what I'm quoting?
Isn't that in Mallrats?
Mallrats, yes. Yeah. How is it that I go from hot Verge Floridian sex with Brandy and in the food court to coital talks to Spider-Man? Pretzel court's not part of the food court. Or cookie stand. Cookie stand's not part of the food
court. Yeah.
What are you talking about? The eatery, the cookie stand is upstairs. The eatery is downstairs. Anything operating outside of said eatery is considered an autonomous unit of mid-mall snackage. Now, if you want to wax intellectual on the subject, holy shit. Where are you going? Sure, Shayla Femme. I fucking love Mallrats, bro. I cannot get into how much. I actually just bought Clerks 3. Clerks 3 went on sale on Vudu.
Oh, yes.
So I bought it. Haven't watched it yet because I don't want to cry like a baby. Man, we are going left and right. Travis, what have you been watching? What's new? You just watched a new movie.
Yeah, we could just keep talking about DC and how they don't know how to logically introduce their characters at all.
I could continue this conversation because I've been saying it for years that DC.
You couldn't have just snuck Black Adam in the new Shazam and then brought out the Black Adam movie?
See, that's the thing. That's the thing is Black Adam was supposed to be the original villain of Shazam, but then they decided that they wanted to give him his own solo film, which is why they did Black Adam. And that bothers me even more because then they bring back Henry Cavill as Superman. Spoiler alert. And then fucking a month later they fire him. He just left The Witcher. Henry Cavill just left the Witcher TV series because he thought he was coming back as Superman.
Yeah, they're pissing off the whole world. People really like that Witcher series a lot. They like that game a fuck ton.
I really liked the first season of Witcher, and I could not get into the second season to save my life.
No. Hey,
but I've been saying it from the get. DC wants to do what Marvel did, but they want to do it in less than half the time. It took Marvel a decade to get to Infinity Wars. And DC tried to do that in like 4 movies. going straight into Justice League, giving us Steppenwolf when we don't even want Steppenwolf.
Yeah, my thoughts on the later phases aside, phase 1 is so like that is why the rest of the phases can be you can have some sequels that don't stand up as well, and it's fine because people are so invested in the universe and the characters, and like a Thor movie that's not the greatest is still so much more fun to watch than whatever the fuck DC
Which is crazy, which
crap.
I'm not gonna lie, is crazy for me to hear you say with the arguments that we have gotten into with Marvel and DC, because when it all comes down to it, like you are the DC guy, I am the Marvel guy. We both have appreciation for the other company, but when it's all said and done, hi Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
have.
you're gonna have a lot more ink to show than I am.
I have Shield right here. I have
Not that,
Hydra right here. Like, yeah, like I'm a Marvel guy. Don't get me wrong. I will probably end up getting a Batman or some DC tattoo. But Marvel is my core. Like, I enjoy X-Men more than I enjoy Superman. I enjoy the X-Men movies more than I enjoy the Batman movies. But there's a lot that can go back and forth, because I stand by The Dark Knight is one of the greatest comic book movies ever made. Dark Knight is the greatest Batman movie made.
Thank God we have that. Oh my God. I really hang my hat on that and just like the animated series and the TV shows that they play.
Mask of the Phantasm, bro. I need to revisit that one again.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But no, we DC. See, I've always said this. DC makes great TV shows and mediocre movies. Marvel makes great movies and mediocre TV shows.
Yeah, and
They have been stepping up with the new shows that they've been bringing to the Disney network. They have actually been very much stepping up their game. I'm talking about the Netflix shows. I'm talking about the Defenders, and I'm talking about Iron Fist. I'm talking about Luke Cage. Partially a little bit of what they gave us with Jessica Jones. Season 1 of Jessica Jones was great. Second season, not so much. Daredevil was the best of what they offered with all of that. Punisher coming in a close second. But
I really like the Luke Cage, but
the series that they've been giving us on the Disney network, Loki, Captain America, or Falcon, and the Winter Soldier. I wasn't a big fan of WandaVision. It was a well done show. I just didn't like the full execution of it. Everything that they've been giving us, I think, has been killing it.
But WandaVision, they know how to at least tie it into their cinematic universe. And it, for me, who didn't watch WandaVision, I didn't like the new Doctor Strange as much because I felt like it didn't have enough Doctor Strange. But I bet if I had been more like people who were more into WandaVision, like they're so good at just helping themselves out and like feeding their own little.
See, and you can get into that. I think that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is one of my least favorite MCU films. And I absolutely loved Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I loved, so for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I loved the first act. I hated the second act, and the third act was whatever, because I was so checked out by the third act. All Doctor Strange was a love letter to the Evil Dead fans that wanted another Evil Dead film, and that's what Sam Raimi gave us. He essentially gave us our Evil Dead 4.
Yeah, mixed with a movie about Scarlet Witch, which I don't care about her. So I was checked out of the movie because I was like, dude, I came here for Doctor Strange.
But I will say that is where they actually got me with Doctor Strange. I walked into that movie not knowing Scarlet Witch was the villain, because they do not lead on at all in the trailer that she is supposed to be the villain.
No, that's true. That's true.
So the minute that it was revealed that she was the villain, that she was like, I never, or like, she was like, you never said her name, did you? And he was like, I did not. I was like, wait, what? In the theater, I was like, huh? She's the fucking villain? Like, you're so, like, I could go into that, bro. I mean, we could really.
It's well done. Yeah.
Go step by step. I mean, if you want to make
day by
that,
day,
another step closer each and every way.
People we know. I can't even go for
The
that.
friendships we made will make it better. Second time around. In which they show us Magic Mountain in California.
Yeah, when they're in Wisconsin, I'm sure.
They're in Wisconsin, but it's Magic Mountain in California, and then they CGI a beach coming right up to what would be the parking lot of Six Flags.
Is that straight up? That's the roller coaster they're on? That's where it is? It's Magic Mountain?
Yeah, it's Magic Mountain. It's the one right by the parking lot. It's the big roller coaster that the Griswolds ride in Vacation.
We were watching Step by Step randomly and trying to figure out, because they're like, is that Wisconsin Dells? Like, no, or maybe they're like Cedar Point or something. And
I may be wrong. I may be wrong.
No, I think you're right.
I am 99% sure that is the roller coaster at Six Flags Magic Mountain in Valencia, California.
That would make a lot more sense. I don't think they came all the way out to...
I one time called out of work saying that my uncle died and I needed to go to Valencia. Both statements were true. My uncle had just died in New Hampshire, and I did need to go to Valencia to Six Flags Magic Mountain with my father.
It's important to be with family when
during a time of death. Yeah. Just let that be a lesson, folks. When calling out of work, choosing your words wisely will always work out to your benefit. My uncle died, and I need to go to Valencia. Two true statements. They did not need to know he was in New Hampshire. They need to not know that I went to Valencia for Six Flags.
It's not your fault if their brain's going to make one leap to another.
So, when it comes down to it, Marvel has their absolute hits and a couple misses. DC has some absolute hits and a couple more misses.
I thought you were going to say they have absolute
a lot of
misses and a couple hits.
No. Because you can look at the older DC stuff that we got. And Christopher Reeve's Superman started off really good. And then we had the Quest for Peace.
That kind of brought about superhero movies, really.
Tim Burton's Batman films were really great. And then they gave us nipples.
That was Schumacher, but yeah.
I know that was Schumacher, but I'm just saying the continuation of the series.
Yeah, he did that to himself. He even admitted that his first Batman was so good, they gave him just so much carte blanche to go wild in the second one
And that's the problem. And this just goes over into Marvel. That's the problem I have with Thor: Love and Thunder. Ragnarok was so amazing. It had so much to live up to that Love and Thunder just couldn't meet my expectations, which is why Love and Thunder is the second best Marvel film for me.
Wait.
Or Thor, just Thor film.
Okay, I was like, hold up.
Well, we won't get into that. I don't have time to get into a full ranking of that.
No, that doesn't check out.
But I mean, we could continuously talk about Marvel and DC this whole episode. I want to talk about a couple other things since it is the anniversary, and we could do a total focus piece between DC and Marvel at another point in time. But Travis, you just watched a movie on the Disney Network. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
I'm a fan of the Night at the Museum with Ben Stiller and formerly Robin Williams as one Theodore Roosevelt. And they have come out with an animated rendition, a fourth film in the franchise. So I thought, you know what? I'll check this out. It's only an hour and 20 minutes long. And, you get sometimes those really awesome animated movies that are obviously made for kids, but they, understand, especially coming from a franchise that's been around for a while that was live action. They might skewer towards some of the other people watching it, and you get, a low-key, really hilarious banger. Not the case. It was good. Yeah, it was a kid's movie about basically Ben Stiller's son is now at the age that he's the guard.
Sure, I know that much. And Achman Ra or whoever wants to take over and
same story as the first one.
Sure, not a problem.
And Thomas, well. Wait, is it the second one that has Rami Malek in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Because it's just the guards that are dickheads in the first one.
It's Dick Van Dyke and
Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney, that's who I was thinking
and
of. don't even get me on the third because I don't know.
Yeah, I'm really impressed that I even just came up with Mickey Rooney. But no, not a bad watch, but also not the low key banger that I was hoping it might be. Not that I had huge expectations, but yeah, whatever.
Well, excellent. I mean, the wife and I'm not going to lie, the wife and I were going to watch it last night, but then we saw that it was an animated movie. We thought it was going to be an animated TV show.
Mm.
So at that point, we were like, we aren't ready for an hour and 20-minute movie. Let's watch National Treasure,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
which is
Okay.
a almost hour long. We watched the first episode of that, and then we watched the third episode of Willow, which was also about an hour long. So we could have watched the movie.
TV shows are so long now.
But I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest. So right now we just finished the Santa Clauses. The Santa Clauses just did its season finale.
Okay.
Yeah, six episodes of the TV series, which I very much enjoyed. I won't give away anything too much because I know you haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, we're gonna binge it as part of our Christmas movies.
We are 3 episodes into the 4 episodes available of Willow. We did, however, watch the movie Willow before watching the TV show.
I was just about to ask. Thank you.
Which, in reality, you don't have to do because they go over the entire movie in a 4-minute recap on the TV show. But the movie, in my opinion, it's old, it's cheesy. But you get Kevin Pollak, you get Rick Overton as the Brownies, you get Val Kilmer as Mad Madigan, you get.
Ooh.
Well, I'm saying
Nice.
the movie, not the TV show.
How old is the movie?
It was done in the 80s, 83, 84, I want to say, somewhere around there. It's a Ron Howard film. So it's another great film from Ron Howard. I very much enjoy it. It's available on Disney Plus, Willow, the TV show, and the movie. So we watched that. We also, I forget. There was another one that we were watching.
There was another one. It was on Disney.
National Treasure, Willow, the Santa Clauses.
Did I mention that we finished watching Wednesday?
Oh, you did not. You mentioned it to me the other day when we were playing video games online.
Oh yes,
let's talk about Wednesday. Let's talk about what you thought. Let's talk about what I thought. And that, folks, that's why you're listening to this episode, because this episode is the 4-year anniversary entitled Wednesday. That's why you're listening, because I just decided we're releasing it on Thursday, but we're calling it Wednesday.
I like it. It's meta, I think, or something.
Travis, tell me what you thought about it.
I hadn't really even watched the Addams Family movies from the 90s that much, as a lot of people my age are huge fans of, and I think you might be as well.
I saw both of the original movies in the theaters the day they were released. So yeah,
that sounds about right. Christina Ricci is great in those.
Sure.
I'd only seen
great in this one.
Yes. I'd only seen the first one, I think, and then Wesley maybe watched the second one a while ago. But other than that, I didn't know much about Wednesday, really, or even the entire Addams Family necessarily, any of their lore, any of the TV show.
Which in reality, I'm not going to lie.
It comes from a comic book, right?
It does come from a comic book. It comes from a comic strip that was then, I believe, made into a comic book. And I'm not even going to lie. The Wednesday TV show that Tim Burton just did treats it more like the original cast of the TV show than he does the actual movies.
Oh, absolutely. That's what, and I think her dancing is, you can see from like the early days with the much younger Wednesday on the TV show doing the same kind of arm and stiff, weird movements like that.
The dance scene, according to my wife, who reads a lot of random shit online, the dance scene, Jenny Ortega actually looked up footage of Gothic clubs from the 70s and 80s and mimicked their dance patterns from that.
Oh, okay. I knew she choreographed it. I didn't know what her inspo was.
With that being said, I am probably one of the few people in the world that did not care for that dance scene. I did not like it. I do not think that Wednesday Addams would ever dance like that. With the way her character is, with the way that she is portrayed, I just don't think that Wednesday would ever dance.
I think she would dance like that, but in a room full of people, no. I think you
I
make the right. No, maybe.
I did. My wife loved it. I did not care for that scene that much. Really loved the series as a whole. I loved the way that it was. The opening scene with her putting the piranhas in the pool is absolutely
Yes,
pure Addams Family. I fucking loved it.
that was
Uh,
tight.
the way they introduced Thing. I really love Luis Guzman, so him as Gomez was awesome.
Agreed.
I'm not necessarily a fan of Catherine Zeta-Jones, but she did a great job as Morticia. I'm very excited. Going back to National Treasure, Catherine Zeta-Jones plays the bad guy in the National Treasure TV show.
Ooh, okay. She
So
do a good job of that.
I really enjoyed Fred Armisen as Uncle Fester. I really like
Classic.
his portrayal as more of the TV Uncle Fester than the other Uncle Fester
Oh, the movies one.
than Christopher Lloyd's Uncle Fester.
Yeah, again, I can't really speak to that because I don't know the OGs too much, but I really Thing was my favorite of all. He was hilarious. He was like he brought me to tears, like
And the
everything.
thing is the show legitimately had me guessing the whole time. Who could it
Dude,
be?
yeah, for
Who could it
sure.
be? And they give you the ploys of who you think it could be, and the funny
Mhm.
thing is, I won't give anything away because there might be people that are listening to this that are still on the fence. Go watch the show. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
I called the killer legitimately the first time on who I thought was behind it, and then I second guessed myself to who is presented. We can talk about it more later.
Yeah, it does
Um,
a really good. Weston had already watched it all the way through, and then she kind of watched me watch it as we watched it together. And I did call the killer super early, like almost just jokingly, like,
yeah,
"Oh,
but
well."
it's because of that it's because of that reasoning.
But then
So
yeah, then like
it's
episode
for
four, I
me
was like, wait, maybe it
it's
is him. And she just kind of looked at me. I was like, nah, I'm being crazy. And then by the time they did reveal it, I was off the scent again. Like I wasn't even. I was like, and I was like, God damn, they're good.
for me it always goes back to what I call the psych logic.
Yeah, you have to introduce them early.
No. Okay, so for what I mean by the psych logic is like the TV show Psych.
Yes, I'm
Nine
familiar.
nine
Disciple.
times nine
I'm a
times
psycho.
9 times out of 10, if you had a celebrity guest on Psych, they are the bad guy. 9 times out of 10. I could name you a handful of people that were on Psych, and they were probably the bad guy. Number one that comes to mind, Steven Weber.
Oh,
And now that I'm saying that, I'm thinking that also might be Monk.
yeah, I think you're off base a little on that.
I'm also not off base though. Carrie Ewells, uh,
He's not a murderer. He's a art thief.
Molly Ringwald, Ali Sheedy.
Ali Sheedy is only showed at the very end of that episode, but yeah, she is Yin. But no, Tim Curry's on there, and he's not the bad guy. Uh,
9 times out of 10. That's why I said
Rachel
nine
Lee
times out
Cook
of
is
10.
not.
Nine. Nope. Was she not the bad guy?
No, she's just a normal person. But I hear what you're saying. There's that rhythm to it where you have to have a chance to get it. They can't just have it be somebody you haven't met the whole show. So they do introduce them at a certain time period, and yeah,
I really enjoyed Wednesday though. I think if you haven't seen it, folks, you should definitely go check it out.
yeah, it's funny, it's dark, it's well paced, great mystery. All the
Travis,
characters are well done. The school is cool.
the school is cool.
I really didn't think I was even gonna like it that much.
It really took me a really long time to get that the stoners were Medusas. It wasn't until he took his head off and froze himself, because they apparently, when they first introduced him, like a snake head is poking out from under
Mhm.
his beanie, but I thought was like, oh, is that a roach? Is that a bug? It wasn't fucking clear enough that like that's a snake head.
Yeah, it grossed me out for sure at first, and I was like, "Oh wait, I think, oh yeah." It was that shit's pretty funny. And then when he stones himself, I mean, I stone myself on the daily, so I shouldn't throw too much shade.
Travis, Is there anything else new that you've been watching that you wanna talk about? There's nothing else new that I can think of that I have been watching that's really noteworthy to talk about, because I haven't finished Andor yet, but we both finished Wednesday, and I think we're going on 35 minutes, so I think this might be a good exit point. Is there anything else that you'd really want to talk about?
No, I'm looking forward to, I know you're not, but I'm looking forward to seeing Avatar 2, The Way of Water. I think at minimum it's going to be really visually awesome.
You
Might
love
need
the
some
story.
mushrooms
You love the
before that.
story of you love the story of white people that like to go into a land that's not theirs and wear the skin of the people to trick them into getting the things they want. I get it. It's the
I'm
story.
a
It's the story.
colonizer at
It's
heart
almost
through
like
and through, I
it's
suppose,
almost
yeah.
like the origin stories of America. It's almost like an exact representation of just the raping and pillaging of a land to get what you want.
I didn't see him handing out disease-ridden blankets or anything disgusting like that, so it
Yep,
might be.
they did. I mean, they did pillage the land. Travis, I know
Yeah,
you.
I know. I mean, you can watch Ferngully, or even I guess Pocahontas is pretty much the same story too.
Sure.
White man falls in love with native.
Well, I mean, they didn't represent that she was like 9 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, I know
Oh
that we didn't
yeah.
have a normal episode doing the IMDb birthdays or the top 6 in the box office. I was so excited to get right into it with my buddy Travis, who has joined me for almost the last year now on this
I think so.
continuous journey. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on Back to the Retro Review as well, available on YouTube or any major podcast outlet where me, Mikey the Freak, the Bearded Geek, and Bebo talk about movies from the 80s and 90s. Other than that, you got me and Travis when on a weekly to bi-weekly basis talking about pure entertainment, video games, movies, TV shows, DC versus Marvel. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Travis. Travis, what have you got to say to the people as we take it on home?
Thanks for listening, and whoever's if you've been here for all 4 years, you are a real one. So thanks,
Woo!
thanks for
SoCal
that. Thank you to
Games!
Steven for having
Mike
me on.
Davis! I'm naming the people that I'm pretty sure have been here all 4 years. SoCal Gabe, Mike Davis.
Oh wait, yeah, let's shout those out.
That's about it. I don't know
All me.
anybody else that's been listening for all 4 years. And both of those guys have both been guests on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, from the bottom of my heart, 4 years. I cannot fucking believe it that we have made it 4 years. Here's to another 4. Hopefully with Travis sticking by my side that he doesn't annoy me too much, I kick him off. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you all so much. We love you all so much. That's Travis. I'm Steve.
Follow me on TikTok and help me get Steve to watch Hot Rod.
I'm not going to watch Hot Rod. Travis, drop that TikTok handle.
Plant-based saying.
And there you go. Tip the veal, try the staff. We love you all, and we'll see you next time.